Good afternoon, Montgomery. And this is your favorite intern, Ramon Warner, here today with Montgomery Focus. Here today with me, we have a special guest from ASU, one of their very own student leaders. You may have seen her on the ASU, Miss ASU in Court, Walking with SGA, or Breaking It Down in the Stands with SGA Street Team. Here today, we have Miss Tiffany Allen. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. All right, Tiffany, can you just give us a brief introduction, your name, hometown, classification, major?
My name is Tiffany Allen. I am from the city where it's always happening, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm a bio pre-health major, and I'm a senior.
All right. So let's just open up with what made you come to ASU?
The crazy story is that I actually found ASU on YouTube. I was looking for something particular, and I actually found it. So I researched the school. I went on their website, researched the school. They invited me to Connection Day, and I came to Connection Day. I felt like I was at home, so I said, "Mom, this is the school that I want to go to."
So moving along, let's get some background on what you do on campus. So what was the first organization that you joined while you arrived there, and why?
When I first came to campus, a lot of people came to me and told me I should join SGA Street Team because I was really excited of being on campus. I was really hyped. So they recruited me to come to SGA Street Team. I went to the interest meeting. They picked me. The reason why I went to the interest meeting because the people were really nice to me, and they just seemed like they really wanted me to be a part of the organization. Once I came to the interest meeting, I learned more about the organization. I was like, I think that's the organization for me.
All right, and could you give us, what SGA Street Team is? Like, what is the meaning behind it?
Okay, SGA Street Team is a marketing team. We're the branch that connects the student body and SGAs together.
Okay.
Whenever SGA needs us to get a word out to the streets, which is the student body, we're responsible for doing that. If they need a flyer, a handbill, anything put up or passed out to the student body, then that's our job to actually get that out.
Alrighty. So we also know that you've been a part of many other things and you've grown outside of SJ Street Team. So what other titles/positions have you had along the years that you've been at ASU?
Okay, like you said, I was Miss Freshman. I was Street Team Vice President before I became President. I was Dorm Council President, and I was the SGA Secretary.
Alrighty. So what are the requirements for the positions that you held? Like, what did you have to go through to get it?
Okay, so the position that I held, of course, you have to have a certain GPA. You have to have a certain amount of credits. Usually, if you're a sophomore, you can be all of these positions that I became. Well, except for Miss Freshman, you didn't have to have a certain GPA because you're just getting in. GPA, a certain amount of credits, and the student body has to like you because they have to vote you in some of these positions.
Oh, okay, so you have to campaign a little bit.
Yes.
All right, so let's go on and touch into Miss Freshman. How did you enjoy your experience on being on the court?
It was a great experience. I learned so much. Before I got to ASU, I was really a tomboy. I didn't wear heels, I didn't wear dresses, pearls, anything, like jewelry or anything. I became Miss Freshman, and I realized that, okay, I have to change into what those girls are. Like, they are girly girls. They go out with dresses on, they put their makeup on, everything. So I was like, okay, I have to get into this. So I actually got into it and said, you know what, I kind of like putting makeup on now. I kind of like dressing up and going around campus. So I really enjoyed my experience. I learned so much from the girls that I was on court with. So yeah, I really enjoyed that experience.
All right, what about your experience being the SGA Executive Secretary? Because you also had a board that you had to work with.
SGA is a little different. SGA, you have to deal with the student body and you have to deal with administration.
Okay.
And me being secretary, I really found out a lot of background stuff about ASU, which was kind of exciting because if I was a regular student, I wouldn't know as much. But because I won being SJ secretary, it's like I got the chance to actually learn more about ASU behind scenes.
Okay. I'm going to move on to SGA Street Team President. I know you're 2 terms, 2 years back to back. All right, so how did you enjoy this experience? I know it's your second time doing it.
Street team, SGA Street Team President. It's a really hard position. I think this was one of my hardest positions that I ever held on campus, only because of with street team, you have to deal with over 100 people.
True.
All of those personalities, you have to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. Okay. Versus you being Miss Freshman and in SGA, you have to deal with it, but these are not the same people that's coming to you with problems. Yeah. You have the same personalities coming to you
every day
with different problems.
All right, now out of each one of these positions, which one did you enjoy the most? Would you say that you would go back and do it for sure?
That's a hard one. I probably would go back and be secretary again.
Why would you choose secretary?
Only because I felt like I had a little bit more freedom.
Oh, okay.
And I got to be a little more creative being secretary.
Okay. Moving into the position, was it hard obtaining any of the positions that you were in or that you won or held? And if so, how?
Of course it was hard. I think secretary really opened up being SGA secretary opened up my eyes a lot because in the Constitution, of course, it tells us that, you get paid 20 hours a week. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you actually work 20 hours a week. Being the SGA secretary or in SGA period, you have to work 24 hours. Like if somebody was to do anything at like 5 o'clock in the morning, we'll have to be the ones that's there. I know last year we had a lot of deaths at ASU, and we was called around 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And we had to be at the Equinox with the rest of the students that was crying. And we had to, consult them and make sure they was okay. So it's not just 20 hours that we're working. SGA actually works 24 hours.
That's a lot. So you spoke on what your hardest position was, which was just being SGA Street Team President. So what would you say be your easiest and why?
I don't think any position I held was an easy position. And it's probably because of I'm always, whatever position that is given to me, I never try to do what any other person has done before me. Like I always try to step it up a little more. Okay. So I probably make it difficult. Okay. So the people behind me that's going to try to do it, you have to top me. I don't
so you
want
push beyond the barrier.
Yeah, I don't want the secretary. All you had to do was probably write 2 newsletters and call it a day. But I actually wanted to do a newsletter every month and then have a newsletter release party so other students could pick up the newsletter.
Okay. So in each position, I know you did a lot under each one. You have like a resume for each one. So could you give us a name and a brief description of one project from each position that you've held?
Okay. When I was Miss Freshman, I did the Cinderella Project. The Cinderella Project was actually taking 2 students from a high school that couldn't afford to go to prom, and I gave them the prom of their dream. So they had the dresses, shoes, they got their hair done and makeup done. Okay. The only thing they would have to pay for was, jewelry. That was it. When I was Peyton Finley president and street team vice president the following year, I just wanted to get personal with the student body, with the students that was up under me. I know for Peyton Finley, I made sure that we had different meetings so I could talk to my residents and figure out what was their problem. So if they didn't have hot water or something was wrong with their room, I was close to the housing director, so it was easy for me to get their problems and take it back to the housing director to get it fixed. So I brought different programs to being Peyton Finley president instead of just having a title just to have a title. When I became street team president, I actually put more into the Cinderella project. I actually that time I made it to where I took 2 girls and 2 guys and gave them the prom of their dreams. Secretary, I actually define what is periodic because sometimes, you know, like I said, other secretaries had just had 1 or 2 newsletters and called it a day. I actually made it to where it was a newsletter every month, and then I brought something new, which is the newsletter release party, to kind of broadcast that it's a newsletter that's being published every month. And now I'm the secretary now. I'm not the secretary, but the street team president now again. I'm feeding families for Thanksgiving, and I'm giving out toys to the sick kids and the hospital. I actually did that street team president my first time being street team president. But yeah.
Okay, so you got some projects that you like to continue and make them grow. That's good. So while being in this position, what are 2 of your biggest challenges that you've faced in being in any leadership role at ASU?
One, you will never get all of the props that you deserve. You can do a lot of stuff on campus, and people will never give you an applause and thank you for doing the stuff. Yeah. So that's why when you run for leadership position, period, do it because you love it. Because if you're looking for people to pat you on the back every time you do something, it's just not going to happen. And it's probably going to hurt your feelings, but at the same time, if you love it, you love what you do, none of that matters. Another thing that I learned that you have to be strong in these positions. I know it was plenty of times where I just wanted to break down and quit from every position that I had, because a lot of the stuff, you got to keep your mouth closed a little bit, and that just wasn't me. Like, if I felt like it was something wrong or something was bothering me, I'll express it. But sometimes you just have to sit back, say, you don't have to answer it like that, but you can answer it somewhere else and get your point across. I'm just straightforward, and whatever comes out, it just comes out.
Yeah, I understand that sometimes you got to learn how to maneuver your words.
Yeah.
Because sometimes one way isn't the only way, and it's not the best way as well.
It's not.
So, if you could redo any of your positions, which one would you redo, and then what would you change if you was going to change anything?
If I had to redo, probably my first experience being SGA secretary. And I say that because I actually had I had fun being secretary. The people that I worked with Shane Parks, of course, my president, we had the best times ever. Shane, Nisha, Nick, all of them. I don't know what I would change about the year. I'd probably change homecoming.
Okay.
That's what I'll change, homecoming. Homecoming wasn't as student-friendly as we wanted it to be.
Okay.
But if I could relive being secretary again, I would actually be secretary and kind of change how homecoming was dealt with last year.
Okay. So, as in homecoming, could you be specific as what you would like? Like, because I know it was on Turkey Day, so would you like it to be before, or would you like it to be more events so that students could, if they're going home, they have a chance to make the events? Like, what would you like to change?
Okay, so I always like the idea of homecoming actually being a week before Thanksgiving because, like I said before, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and there's other students that's from different places around the world. And I personally think it's not fair for you to actually make me stay for Thanksgiving in Montgomery. In Montgomery just for a game. Yes, it's okay for, the people that stays in Montgomery. That's great because you can go back to your family. But you have out-of-state students that can't get home that fast. We asked the students for their opinion, but it's a lot of background stuff that people don't know that happens with SGA homecoming. It's just a lot of background stuff. But I wish we could have fought more for it to be more student, because there was a lot of student events, but the prices that they made for the students wasn't right. Like, I think last year eventually the tickets was like $50, $40.
Wow.
And for students, like, some of these students didn't even pay their balance off. So it's not fair for them to have to pay $50 for their own homecoming. So if we could have made the homecoming at least $10 or $15, it would have been okay. But outside, we charged them, and it would have been okay with me. But it didn't sit quite well with me when we had to charge the students that much money when the day of the show they dropped the prices down anyway. So.
Oh, that is true, because I already bought the ticket.
Right, they already bought the tickets. Now I'm mad because now the ticket is $10 and I done paid $50 for it.
Yeah, but that homecoming was good because that's the year, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Harvey was hosting it.
Oh yes, it was a great homecoming. Don't get me wrong, but as far as the prices, I wish the prices was a little lower than it was, and I just wish it was more student friendly. Sometimes we target the alumni more than we do the students, and
we do.
We pay to go to the school. That's point blank period. I feel like you should please us before you please anybody else. The alumni, they had their time. You had your time to make your mark on campus, have your fun on campus. It's our time now.
All right, so being in these student leadership roles, I know you've grown so much. So what have being in these roles taught you? Like, what have you gained personally as Tiffany Allen?
My attitude isn't as bad as it used to be. I used to have the worst attitude. Now, I'm okay. Like I said before, my president, SGA president that I was up under, Shane Parks, what he told me to do was write down what I wanted to say, and if I read it over and it doesn't sound right, then don't say it. Like, don't say it, period. And so now I kind of take his advice and actually say, okay, that's not right. You can't do that. Okay, Tiffany, you can say this because that's not going to be mean or anything. So, yeah, my attitude has changed. I'm not going to say I didn't have a voice, but now my voice is kind of bigger now. Like, before my freshman year, it's like, oh, okay, she's talking, whatever. But now it's like when I talk, people sit there and they'll listen.
Okay.
They'll actually listen and actually want to do what I say.
So you
now.
gained the audience and the support.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I know you come with a lot of challenges that you face being in leadership. So what makes doing what you do worth it? Because I know a lot of times you may feel like, okay, this is just a lot on me.
The students. If it wasn't for the students, I wouldn't do anything. I see, like, I've been through everything the students been through. I had a balance, got purged out of class, cried because the grades wasn't right. Like, I've been through what every student has been through. And that's the reason why I wanted to run for different positions, because a lot of the students that run for it are kind of like the elite people that's around ASU. Yeah, they have the great GPAs. They speak well. They do everything perfect to me. Yeah. But then you have like one girl that's, oh, okay, I can relate to her. Oh, okay, and I'm the one that make you want to run for different positions. Okay. And so if it wasn't for the students, like, I wouldn't be in none of these positions. The students make it. They make my job. They make me want to actually do my job. That 20 hour a month, it really wasn't anything. But as long as the students is happy, as long as the students happy, I was okay for all the stress that I done went through.
That's good, because I know it comes with, like you said, it's not just a 20-hour week, it's a 24/7 job. And you rooting for the underdogs and making sure they're pushed outside of their shell is good, because a lot of times some people just need that push, because you come to college to grow. So bringing on to, who you are now and your final thoughts. So where do you see yourself in, the next 5 years after you leave ASU?
I keep telling all of my members that I'm going to be on TV. I just want y'all to know.
Just like now.
Yeah, just like now. This won't be the last time you're seeing me. Next time, see, I'm on the Ramon Warner show, but next time, be on Wendy Williams show, Ellen show, everybody's show. I'm gonna be famous. I don't care what nobody say. I have a backup plan because my mom wants me to have a backup plan. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be famous.
Alrighty. So, given all that you've done, like, what do you want everyone to remember Tiffany Allen as from ASU?
A fighter. I want everybody to remember me as a fighter. Like, I'm not the one to sit around and play like if your ceiling is messed up, if your carpet messed up, you got mold anywhere, say something about it and fight for what you believe in. Without the students, there's no ASU. Like, there's no ASU, true. Period. So I don't want people to think, oh, she just came here, she done collect titles, because I don't collect titles. I actually get titles and do stuff with my titles. Can't nobody say that I never, like, I just got a title and just sat back on my title. I made sure it was my business that I at least did 3 things with all of the titles that I held. So I want people to know that I was a fighter and I'm a hard worker. You don't have to like me. I tell them all the time. You never have to like me, but you're going to respect me. A lot of people that voted for me, they didn't like me at all. But they said because we know that you work hard, yeah, I trust you to get the job done. And that's what makes me smile, because it's like, okay, you don't like me, but you do respect all of the stuff that I do around campus. And that's even administrator before administrator left, because she went to another job to get paid more, which I respect. She told me at first, she said she didn't like me at all. Oh. But she told me on her last day that she respected me, and she respected everything that I did around campus. And that's what made me smile.
Okay. All right, so if you can do 3 qualities, what 3 qualities would you say makes a leader? I'm hardworking, of course. You have to be hardworking. You have to be dedicated. Yeah, you do have to be dedicated. And I would say you will have to be relatable to the students, because if you're not relatable to anybody, then it's like, who are you really fighting for? Because you can't just fight for one particular group when you're a leader. When you're a leader, you fight for everybody, not just for one party. It's everybody. That's true. So you make sure you represent the entire room, not just one person out of the room. Exactly. That's good. So for any future or current students that are looking up to be as freshmen, SGA, Street Team President, SGA, Executive Secretary, dorm council president, what advice can you give them, and some plans or steps that they can take to get to those positions? As soon as you step foot on any campus, it doesn't have to necessarily be Alabama State University. Hopefully it would be, but it doesn't have to be Alabama State University. At any campus, make sure you start leaving a footprint your freshman year. Make sure you start to get connected with your peers, because if you don't get connected with anybody, how do you expect to win? Because these are voted on positions, and people keep saying that it's a popularity thing. You're right. It is. Yeah. It is a popularity thing, and that's why I'm telling you that you need to make sure you get to know a lot of people, as many people as you can. But when you get to know these people, make sure they see you on your personal side and then your business side. Because if I'm just seeing personal, I'm seeing you going out and you acting crazy and stuff like that, I'm not going to want to vote for you. But if I see, okay, she's a business person or he's a business person, I know that he can get the job done and blase, blase, blase. I'm going to vote for you because I know you're on a personal level and I know you're on a business level, so I know what you do. Join organizations.
And when I say join, don't just join just to say you're a member.
Yeah.
Join and actually be on their e-board so you can actually put in work for your organization. What I can't stand is this member that's just there. If you don't put in anything, how do you expect to get a good outcome? So join different organizations and actually put in work into those organizations. Have events on campus. Give back to your community so your community could support you. I know I only spent like $20 the first time I campaigned. And that's because of people from Montgomery actually donated to me. And then I had my high school alumni association club. They donated back to me as well. So make sure you have good connection with not only Montgomery but from back home, because you're gonna need it. It costs a lot to campaign. And yeah, just be nice to people, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
All right, and then the final thing is, what is like your motto or motive that you live by, that you can give to somebody else to push them on through if they're having a bad day or a bad situation?
It was a quote that I had. I hope I don't mess the quote up, but it's be someone that you wanted to look up when you were younger.
Okay, that's a good
I know when I was younger, I really didn't have, like, a lot of people come to college and have mentors and stuff like that, but I never had one.
Oh, wow.
Never had a mentor that just
Took you
that
under
I
the wing.
went to and said, hey, I want you to mentor me.
Yeah.
And we actually been that cool. But you know what? I take that back. I can say the people that I was under kind of mentor me. I can say Anthony Matthews, Faluso Aluade, Sherrod Campbell. I guess I can count them as my mentor, somebody. But I know that because of when I was younger, I didn't look up to anyone. I was like, okay, so I'm going to be that person that I always wanted to. I always wanted to actually look up to.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm involved in so many organizations, so I can reach out to freshmen and they can have somebody to look up to.
All right. Well, you've done a great job of that. That's coming from mentee to mentor, if they don't know. But, you know, you guys, we're coming on to an end. And, again, I'm Ramon Warner. This is Tiffany Allen, and we are here today with the Montgomery Focus. Thank you.